everybody, and welcome to a brand new episode of Dodgers Territory. I'm Alanna Rizzo. That is Clint Pasillas. We are your hosts. Thanks so much for being here, you guys. We appreciate it very much. A big series coming up between the Gigantes and the Los Dodgers, the Los Doyers, if you will. Rate us 5 stars. Like,
Please.
subscribe. Tell all your friends, YouTube, Spotify, wherever you get your pods. Don't forget, we have merch, and you can buy it, and you can support us, and we would be most appreciative. DodgersTerritoryShop.com is where you can get it, or you can just scan that QR code right there on your very screen if you're watching us on YouTube. A lot to get to. How about we pick a player for our DraftKings Player Spotlight, Clint?
I got a good one for us today. Somebody worthy of a conversation. Alanna, it is the DraftKings Player Spotlight. Appreciate DraftKings supporting this section of the show. We got to talk about Shohei Ohtani because I argue we don't do that enough on this show, but he just keeps making new history, creating new records, or what's the word I'm looking for?
He has his own new category. He has like his own new category of records that he's setting, breaking all of the things. I mean, 50 home runs and 50 strikeouts on the season. I mean, not many guys can do that, right? Only two-way players, and Shohei is the man. So according to Yahoo Sports, Shohei Ohtani is the only player in Major League Baseball history with 50 Ks and 50 home runs in a single season. So the man is creating his own categories, and he already has 51 home runs on the year, and there's still a handful of games left to go, so maybe he gets to 55. Sarah Langs does a great job, of course, Slangs on Sports, 50 or more home runs in consecutive seasons. Shohei is at the top of the list, the last guy to do it, and whatever. Alex Rodriguez, 2001 to 2002.
Yeah, and he's also the fastest player to ever hit 105 homers in a Dodger uniform here. You see that more illustrious company for Shohei Ohtani from Sarah Langs and Elias Sports there. Babe Ruth, of course, he was pretty good for a while there. Alex Rodriguez was pretty good there for a while, as long as he had a little bit of mother's little helper. But Shohei Ohtani, I just don't think we give enough love or appreciation for the fact that this dude can roll out there and hit 50 homers, set a new Dodgers record.
Yep. All right. I appreciate that. Let's we got a lot to talk about coming up. So
let's wrap on this.
Shohei is dominant. Let's go ahead and
hold on. Let's do this. Let's
do this.
To make sure we give our love and appreciation to DraftKings, we're going to do this.
Football is back, and so is your shot at big wins with DraftKings Pick 6, the official daily fantasy partner of the NFL. Your game day instincts can score you real money fast. Here's the play.
Just pick more or less on 2 or more player stats, from breakout rookies to elite QBs, and unlock the upside every snap brings. The better your calls, the bigger your payout.
This season, play your player instincts. Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app now. Use code FOUL, that's FOUL. Pay just $5. Get $50 in Pick 6 bonus picks. Make the call, ride the upside in partnership with DraftKings Pick 6. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org in Connecticut. Must be 18 and over. Age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Pick 6 not available everywhere, including New York and Ontario. Void where prohibited. 1 per new customer. Bonus awarded as non-withdrawable Pick 6 bonus picks that expire in 14 days. Limited time offer. See terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos.
All right, Riz, take it away.
Appreciate DraftKings being a part of the show as always. We have breaking news. We've been working on this all day long, and this is why we're actually on at 4 p.m. Eastern today instead of our normal 3 p.m. Eastern today. It has just been announced officially, as we knew all day long. Clayton Kershaw has announced just now that he is retiring at the end of the season. Clayton Kershaw, an 18-year big league veteran, all in the same uniform. The man has 3 Cy Young awards. He has 5 ERA titles. He has 2 World Series championships, perhaps a third in 2025, an 11-time All-Star, a 2011 National League Gold Glove. He won the Triple Crown also in that same year. He's a 2012 Roberto Clemente Award winner, which is a huge honor in this sport. He has a list of accolades that go on and on and on and on. Obviously, he had a no-hitter in 2014, the same year in which he won the MVP. He has made it official. And I knew, Clint, that this day would come I just wasn't certain I was ready for it to come. And I'm just grateful that Clayton retires as a Dodger, because he could have very well finished his career in Texas. It would have been easier for him, right? He's right down the road. He has a growing family. They're about to have their 5th child. That's it. Clayton is retiring. Congrats, Kersh.
Yeah. Like you said, we knew this day was coming at some point in our life. It makes sense. It really does make sense that it's now, and I apologize for the lack of eye contact with people. I'm updating our show here live in real time. We did know. We did, catch some wind that this was a possibility today. We waited as long as we could to start the show so we can have this be an all Kershaw. Thank you for the memories. Thank you for the love. Thank you for 18 incredible seasons. It's a gut punch. You knew it was coming. The immediate reaction is a gut punch. This is a dude. Personally, this is a guy I grew up with. I'm only 2 years older than him, or 3 calendar years older, or whatever. But this is my guy. This is my dog. Clayton Kershaw is our ride and die. He's been the stopper. He's been the man you want posting for you every 4th, every 5th, now every 6th day. He's done it with style, with grace, with dominance over the course of his career here. Even in year 18, Kersh still so damn good. The king here, 18 seasons of Dodgers, 3,039 career strikeouts, 2.52 career ERA, 222 career wins. That is one spot where he will not finish off his career atop the Dodger leaderboard. Of course, Don Sutton has 233 as a Dodger, but the GOAT. That man is an outright GOAT, Alanna. One thing I'll say, it makes sense that it's now, because this team is so stacked. It's so talented. We said entering the season, where does Clayton Kershaw fit in? I don't know where he fits in next year when you look at all of the talent the starting rotation is going to have available. Gavin Stone coming back from injury, plus there will be a River Ryan, Justin Repleski, Kyle Hurt. I don't want to make this about next year. I want to savor Clayton Kershaw, who, of course, starts for the Dodgers. One more home start for him. Friday, regular season. Tickets, go buy them now.
Yeah, it's an emotional time, and I don't think we can appreciate all of what Clayton Kershaw has done because we're right in the middle of it, right? We're in the weeds with Kersh right now, and I think we'll have a moment, and Clayton hasn't reflected either, because there's been many times when I had the privilege of covering him on a daily basis over the course of my 7 years in Los Angeles. I know I'm still covering the Dodgers, but it's in a different form now, right? I would often ask him, like, have you ever thought about, like, his MVP season or his 3 Cy Young Awards or the ERA title or reaching 3,000 strikeouts or whatever, which he did this year. But, I'm like, have you ever thought about what you've accomplished? And he's like, not really, not yet. I mean, there will come a time, I believe, for Clayton Kershaw where he has the time to sit back and reflect at what it was in terms of his career and how unbelievable of a career it is. And the one thing about Clayton is that as he's had to kind of reinvent himself, as all pitchers do, right? The velocity may not be there anymore, doesn't exactly have the same swing and miss stuff. The curveball isn't as curvy, if you will. But the one thing about Clayton Kershaw is the competitiveness has never faltered. That has never been something that has been in question. The work ethic, the competitiveness, the give a crap, the want to has never been in question when it comes to Clayton Kershaw. And while he's had to evolve as a pitcher, and while he's softened a little bit off the field and in the dugout and has become a little bit more playful as time has gone on, as father time has hit all of us, as he has become a father for the 4th time, almost a 5th time, we have seen him evolve as a pitcher. We have seen him evolve as a man. We have seen him evolve as a mentor. But the competitiveness and the fire and the care has never quit. And the Dodgers finally making this official today. And again, guys, if you're just joining us now, the reason Clint and I are on now and not at our normal time is we were waiting for this to become official and waiting for the team to say something about it, because we did not want to report false information because that's big news, right? It's big news when the ace of the staff and the guy that has anchored your starting rotation for the better part of almost 2 decades, when he says it's time to hang it up, I mean, that ruffles the waves, that creates waves a little bit, and it's a little wild to think that there is going to be a team in 2026 that does not have Clayton Kershaw pitching for it.
Yeah.
It's a little hard to believe.
Yeah, I'm not ready to believe it. I don't want to believe it yet. It makes sense. I don't know if you happen to see he sat down with your buddy and somebody I've long watched and love, Chris Rose, over with the John Boy channel. Kirsch, like you mentioned, Riz, he's just he's a very different character now than the animal he was.
Oh yeah.
Especially during your tenure covering him day to day. He's a lot more loose. He's a lot more open. He's a lot more willing to accept that, hey, my time is coming to an end, and he's told us this for years. If we're being honest, he has said, like, he wants to go out on his own accord. He wants to prove that he can still get the job done and not just hang on. He is still one of the top 5, top 6 pitchers in this Dodgers rotation. You could even say top 4. He has been an anchor for this team this year, and I love that he does get to go out on his own accord. It's not because of an injury. Obviously, he got those things. He got the knee, he got the foot fixed, however gross that was. Of course, he showed you and Brzezinski the photo at spring training earlier this year. He got those things fixed, and he's able to hang up those Skechers spikes on his own. I often love that. I love that for my man.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. And you bring up such a good point there. And I remember one time, Nomar Garcia-Parra and I and a couple of other folks on our broadcast team at the time were talking about that. Not many players in major sports and professional sports get to go out on top. I mean, we were talking about the small percentage. Let's say it's less than 5% of people actually get to go out the way that they want to, albeit they've won 1 million championships, Tom Brady, or they get to go out when they're healthy and they're not being. The jersey doesn't have to be like ripped off of them. Like, they're ready to say goodbye. Like, they've achieved everything they could possibly want in the world, whether it's the Mia Hamms of the world or the Tom Brady's of the world, or very few people get to say when they're done. Most of the time, the sport dictates when you're done. Very few people get to say, you know what? I'm good. And Clayton Kershaw, for all he has meant to the Dodgers and for all he has meant to this great game of ours, he gets to say when he's done. And kudos to the Dodgers, too, for giving Clayton the alley and the pathway to be able to. They basically said, you have a lifetime contract here, man.
Yeah.
You can be here in any capacity as long as you want to. And there was always a spot for Kersh. And to your point, he's still productive. It's not like he's like coming in there, like on a wheelchair trying to I mean, he is still a productive pitcher. You know what I mean? So kudos to the Dodgers for giving him that alleyway, and kudos to Kersh for wanting to finish his career with the team that drafted him. And thanks, Ned Colletti, by the way. Not that it would have taken a genius to scout Clayton Kershaw, but again, like, thanks to Ned for signing Kersh. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's something.
Beginning of Kershaw's career.
That is something I very much wanted to make sure we give some love to Ned for. I mean, the talent was there. Obviously, a very raw kid out of Texas at the time, but also got to appreciate Frank McCourt and the 2005 Dodgers for just being so god awful bad that they were able to get a first round, the number 7 overall pick that year, and that Ned saw enough in this man who first donned number 54 and went on to wear the Hall of Fame number 22 for the better part of his 18 years. Ned has a way, and maybe we got to talk to him at some point. We'll get him on the show and get some Clayton Kershaw thoughts as the season trudges forward. Of course, this is Clayton Kershaw Appreciation Weekend now at Dodger Stadium. Again, his final regular season home start on Friday. Clayton Kershaw 3,000th strikeout bobblehead on Saturday, which that needs to be Clayton Kershaw Appreciation Day. Yes, there are still going to be postseason. There will be games played at Dodger Stadium. We hope this team goes on a very long, deep run into October, and they send Clayton off right with a third World Series trophy.
Can you imagine what that kind of? You think he and Bueller were hugging each other at Dodger Stadium after the 2024 World Series? Good night. Can you imagine if the Dodgers win the World Series in 2025, knowing that Clayton is done?
Yeah.
Like that's just a wild
storybook.
I mean, it's a wild scenario, and
That's how you storybook it, man.
I'm super excited for him. Wow, it's just a little surreal, right? Like I said,
Yeah.
I knew it was going to come. I wasn't certain. And again, it makes sense though, because Clayton is not the type of guy, like he's not David Ortiz, right? He doesn't want the 27 city, like going away parade where everyone and their mother gives them and I love David Ortiz. I love his personality, and he's big and he's like loud and he's obnoxious and he's all encompassing. And that's great. Like that's David, that's Big Poppy. But Kershaw, I think would sooner rather like crawl under a rock than have all of that attention. And that's why he does this. That's why he's doing it now, where there's only one homestand left where he's going to pitch, and then you do the 3,000 strikeout night, and then you celebrate, clinching and getting into the postseason, and doing the lap around the stadium, the last regular season home game of the year, and that's it. You know what I mean? So there's a reason, there's a method to Clayton Kershaw's madness, and again, we got Win, and kudos to Mark Weiner, our boss, for letting us know about this early today before I even went on the air with Foul Territory this afternoon. So wow, here we go, Kersh. Congrats. Well
I like
earned,
this.
my friend.
Ron Stoppable said, we need that Kershaw statue at Dodger Stadium ASAP. How long do you think before that thing gets built?
Oh, it's so funny too. So Lon Rosen, who I was on the phone with all day today, trying to get some information about this, got so mad at me one time when the Sandy Koufax statue was going to be. Oh my God, I didn't know that it was like this big secret, right? So they tell us that Sandy is getting a statue, and I thought it was like, it's like you get a press release and it's like for immediate release. Blah, blah, blah. I didn't see that. It didn't say that. I didn't realize it was just internal information. So I tweeted it that Sandy was getting Sandy Koufax was getting a statue. You would have thought that I took Stan Kasten's kidneys. I got in so much trouble for that. So as far as Clayton Kershaw's statue is concerned, even if I do know when it's happening, I'm not saying a word.
There's a reason why Lon didn't trust you today with some embargoed information then.
Probably. It's a solid point by you. That's a solid point by you. Yeah.
Hey,
he definitely deserves it. That's for dang sure.
We got more people joining us, of course. We're going to stay here and hang out with the chat for longer. I do have a question I will throw out to everybody and some numbers to potentially back it up about Kershaw perhaps being the greatest left-hander of all time. But first, we got to hear a quick word from our friends at Foul Territory. Then we'll be back, and we'll hang out with the chat and talk more Clayton Edward Kershaw.
Hey, if you're a card collector or you're looking to collect, buy, sell, trade, Arena Club's the spot. And I'm going to tell you why. Because the old process, AJ, was very clunky. Buy a box, rip the pack, tons of commons, send it in for grading. And then finally, you get everything back. This is weeks and weeks, and you can start to try and sell the card. We have eliminated that with Arena Club, or they have. I act like I'm part of it. But in really one step.
Arena's your one-stop shop for everything. You get a card, you open a slab pack, the card is there, it's graded, it spins around coolly, shows you 3D, the front, the back, you can look at the corners, you can look at everything, and then you get a decision. Do I want to keep it? Do I want to sell it? Do I want to trade it? It gives you an instant offer. You can buy it back and re-rip another slab pack and try for something else, or you can keep it and hope the value goes up and sell it at a later date. It is truly the best spot to get cards.
20% off your first slab pack or card purchase can be had right now at arenaclub.com/FOUL and use code FOUL.
We are back, and I'll tell you something about Clayton Kershaw. He's good. He's a very good player. If you were unaware, he is a phenomenal pitcher, and you can argue he is the best by the amount of work that he has put in over his career, the best left-handed pitcher of all time. Let me just stop burying the lead here. You see, this is a list of the highest career WAR, wins by replacement per Fangraphs, of pitchers, left-handed pitchers in baseball history. Atop that list, Randy Johnson, you see 301 wins. Steve Carlton, 327 wins. And down there at 5, you see Clayton Kershaw. But one of the things,
No, what's so cool about all of it?
What's
the
that?
teams. One team.
That's another huge thing. What I love about it, though, is Randy Johnson, 603 starts, 707 Steve Carlton, 616 games for Lefty Grove, Tommy John in there. It's over 700 games, 700 starts. Clayton Kershaw, 449 starts, racked up 78.7 career wins. By at this point, obviously the season is not done, but just in terms of stuff,
a lot fewer games. I mean, a lot fewer games and unbelievable. I mean, that just shows you how valuable Clayton is.
I mean, if you're looking at that by game, by inning, you could argue he is the most valuable pitcher, valuable lefty of all time. I didn't look at the total, righty lefty stats and all that kind of stuff, but I love the lefty factor myself, being a lefty, even though I throw right-handed. But that's another whole conversation. I just thought that was fun. I thought that was something interesting that people might enjoy. Of course, people in the chat joining us, sharing their love for Clayton Kershaw as well. Dan saying first ballot Hall of Famer. I could not agree more.
No. And if not, I will hunt the person down that does not vote Clayton Kershaw into the Hall of Fame on the first try. That's just ridiculous.
Oh, this is a fun one from hold on, I think I gotta wait for it to pop up, from Geshmake in the chat, who's saying the current Dodgers team drove Kershaw into retirement. He can't take it anymore. Goodness. Hey, we need some negativity for funsies, of course. One thing, if we are going to do that send-off swan song for Clayton Kershaw here, my God, the bullpen needs to get its act together. He may be a part of that postseason bullpen. We don't really know what that looks like, but
I actually think Clayton starts a game. I think he starts a game in the postseason. I think he starts a game in the DS because we're not going to need him in the CS.
Yeah. And with the fact that this team is going to play in a wild card game, unless things really, really change over the next 10 days or so, you're going to burn Blake Snell, you're going to burn Yamamoto early in those wild card games, maybe even Glasnow in that series. So yeah, it could very well come down to a game 1, game 2 start in the NLDS for Clayton Kershaw, and he would be facing, most likely right now, if the season ended and things turned out the way we want in the NLDS, he'd be facing the Phillies.
God,
so that's a
crazy?
thing. That's a thing.
That would be crazy. My goodness. Yeah, it's just what are some of, I know you just said you talked about it. You grew up with this dude, right? I know you're a couple years older than him, but this is a guy that he was the pitcher of your generation. Your fandom as a Los Angeles Dodger fan, like when you were really, really paying attention and getting yourself ingrained, and when a group of men just like yourself could ruin your life over the course of a 162 game season. So what are some of your favorite Kershaw moments?
Well, I guess one of my favorite, if you're looking at the course of his career, one of my favorite Kershaw moments is he's one of the guys that you could almost always rely on to, if these group of men are making your day bad or making your week bad, he's going to be the one to help you out. Kershaw Day was a celebration. It will remain a celebration. One, maybe 2 more left this year in the regular season, but having that every 5th day, for 6-7 months a year, it's been special. And I know all the talking heads are going to talk about the postseason. That's been, obviously that's his bugaboo right there. That's not all on him. I put a lot of blame on Don Mattingly. I put a lot of blame on Joe Torre for those kind of things. A lot of blame on the front office at that time, not getting him enough relief pitching to help out, not enough starting rotation. But that's another completely different conversation. But I really loved is, even when he was in his hard ass modes, seeing silly, dumb Kershaw doing things. The relationship, between, obviously you guys have your own relationship, but watching him, spend time with Joe Davis and Oral Hershiser and all of them just kind of being their own version of idiots together in a very fun, meaningful way. Whenever Clayton opened up to people, that's when it was at its best. I leave Mr. Kershaw alone when I'm around him. One of my favorite ones, I did ruin his ping pong tournament after this one, because this was the 2018 ping pong tournament. He always dressed to impress at those ping pong tournaments, I will say. But after this, the next year is when they said, please, nobody take photos with any of the players or celebrities. Because I went around that year just snapping pics with everybody. So I stopped doing that after.
So immature. My goodness. Can't take you anywhere. Can't take you. Yeah, I mean,
now I don't care about them.
Clayton, didn't, unless you were like obviously his family or certainly his teammates. He was very open with his teammates, and he could be silly with his teammates, and show certainly a lighter side of him. But he's a reserved guy. Clayton's not going to give you. He's not going to take you someplace that you haven't been before unless you're super duper close to him. Other than obviously the no hitter and just getting to know him over the course. I met Clayton before I started covering the Dodgers. I met Clayton when he was a Branch Rickey Award recipient, and the award ceremony was in Denver. And I was with the Colorado Rockies at the time, but I happened to be the MC of that award ceremony. And I met him then. But, then I obviously start covering the team on a daily basis in 2014. He has the no-hitter and all of those things. And I remember that moment, just kind of getting out of the moment or trying to get out of the moment and welcoming in Ellen. And it was also around that same time, if it wasn't that same day, it was certainly around that same time that they realized that they were pregnant with Callie, their first child. And at the time, until just recently announced, she was the only daughter, the only granddaughter, niece in the Kershaw and Ellen family. They had all boys. It was all boys, right? So it was like Callie Ann and a billion other boys. And now, so the bookends are girls because Ellen and Clayton are having another girl, which is their fifth. So the first and the fifth are girls. But I remember that moment and finding that out with them, or obviously after them. I wasn't there at the gender reveal, but just the point of getting to know them. But the one thing that sticks out the most for me is the hardest decision I've ever had to make in my professional career is leaving LA and leaving the Dodgers and coming here to the East Coast. And obviously it was a personal decision. My husband was my fiance at the time, and his job changed. And, I was living on the West Coast. He was on the East Coast. It was just difficult, right? So after the Dodgers won the World Series in 2020, I had to make a decision. And it was the most gut-wrenching decision I ever had to make because I loved that job. Absolutely loved that job. Love LA. There's not a day that goes by that I don't think about being in LA and living in Manhattan Beach and covering that team. And you know how much I bitch about the weather here, right? So
it's a lot,
but guys. I'll never forget. This is the moment I'll never forget in my lifetime. Once I finally agonized long enough, and we're talking months of thinking about this and percolating on this decision. Once I finally made the decision to leave,
which was very late, by the way, in 21.
It was really late.
Like minutes before spring training.
Like the end of January. Yeah. It was late. So I finally put out the announcement, much like Clayton did today, that the announcement that the Dodgers did. I did one of those as well. And I had, I ran it through the Dodgers and all the stuff, right? One of the first people to reach out to me was Clayton. And I didn't realize, and he called me. And I was just like, that really surprised me because I hold him in such high regard that the fact that somebody like him took the time to say, or maybe he just texted me, but took the time to say, thank you. And it's a pleasure and good luck. And I appreciate you. That was a big deal to me because Clayton is Clayton, right? And so his voice, it holds more weight. Somebody that's as good at his craft as Clayton is, that holds a lot. And it made me feel good that I hope that he felt I did a good job. So moments like that, I will never forget. And I hope, in 5 years when he's officially allowed to enter the hall, I hope to be in attendance. I'm inviting myself, by the way. I don't expect to get a invitation.
You better be invited.
Family, but I hope to be in attendance to witness Clayton go into Cooperstown.
I didn't know all of that. I didn't know Kershaw had reached out. I do love that because obviously you are still a very beloved figure here in Dodger Nation. People still wonder why you're not a part of the team, and hopefully people will understand now a little bit more instead of making up their own bullcrap as to why you left the organization when you did. But the important thing is when it comes to Clayton Kershaw, you are going to forever be a part of his story because we're going to have that indelible image of you bailing as much as you could on the water dumping, on the Gatorade dumping there for that no should have been perfecto. Thank you, Hanley Ramirez. Didn't that dress end up in the Hall of Fame or something like that, or how?
The shoes. I wore those shoes, which at the time, God, now when I go to the park, I wear tennis shoes like normal people. I used to wear really, really high heels. It used to be taboo for my profession to wear tennis shoes, and you always had to be very you always had to wear dresses, and I'm 100, so things have changed. Whatever. Thank God they've changed, and you can wear freaking Air Force Ones now or Jordans to the ballpark. But the shoes got trashed, and then I wore those same shoes for Beckett's no hitter. So it was 2 times I wore those shoes for no hitter. So that's it. I don't know what happened to those shoes. They've been retired. I am in the Hall of Fame, but just for the all-female broadcast, not because of the shoes. But that was an honor. It's an honor to be able to cover greatness like that. And we witnessed it
in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, we witnessed it on a daily, certainly on a every fifth. You know what? I was going to say on an every fifth basis, but Clint, we did witness it every day because even when Clayton wasn't pitching, he was out there working his butt off as if he was pitching that day. I mean, he was the first. I mean, I know it's cliche, first one there, last one to leave, blah blah blah. But truly, that's who he is.
Yeah.
Every time we go to a park in which he hadn't pitched in before, it's been a long time. If it was out of the NL West or whatever, he's on the mound and he's walking all over the mound and he's testing it and he's getting the gauge of the feeling of the mound and going to the outfield and throwing the ball up against the and then hitting it with his
the wall slap.
And, all of that stuff. It's like he was such a creature of habit, but I mean the great ones are, right? You liken like the ones that are the Jordans of the world or the Kobes or whatever, school of thought you're in of who's better, Jordan, LeBron, Kobe, whatever. But the Kershas of the world and those guys, they got to be a little nuts, right? To be that good, you got to be a little nuts. And the way that he went about his craft and how diligent he was about it. And God help you if you don't talk to, they always say, don't talk to the starting pitcher the day of. Do not.
Stay away from 22. And that's one of the things. I love that you can just say 22 and everybody knows. We caught wind, so I tweeted 22. Hopefully nobody's mad at me over here, Foul Territory, for tweeting 22 earlier, very just kind of loosely throwing it out there. But the fact that that's a name, 22 is a name. These players who look up to him, consider him a peer, whatever it is, they still like, oh yeah, Buehler will be like, yeah, I did it for 22. Talking about that World Series last year on Mookie Betts' Drunken World Series podcast. That's what Buehler said. He was like, what would 22 do? And I was like, fuck, this is what I'm supposed to do right here.
Did it for 22, yeah.
And I love this. I was going to say, I love this from Simply Brandy in the chat, by the way. She says, I am very sad, as we all should be. Again, career's not done yet. We still got more time and hopefully one more World Series ring. But thank you, King Kersh, for an amazing career. I miss you. And at the end of his, the championship parade and Kershaw going up there last year saying, I didn't really do anything, but it doesn't matter. Dodger for life, him kind of breaking in that moment too. That's the kind of stuff that still gives you chills.
Yeah, it's just insane. It's insane to think, like I said, that next year, we won't be dying to see Kershaw's first bullpen session. Yeah. You know what I mean? I mean, I know it's like now we're like, oh my gosh, when is Shohei throwing in Yama? And hopefully at that point next season, Roki, Sasaki, and all the things. But it's always been like, oh my God, Kershaw's throwing his first bullpen session, and he's been such an integral part of this team and he has woven himself through the fabric of this organization for such a long time, not just 18 years in the big leagues. I mean, 20 plus years since he was drafted by this organization. And he is the Dodgers. Like Clayton Kershaw is the Dodgers, much to the same way that Sandy is still, and Vin was, and Mr. Newcomb, when he was still here, and
Fernando. That's Richie Flores. He sent a 199 super chat. Yeah, Godspeed Clayton, our last Fernando and our last Sandy, and that's the thing. Yeah. Like,
and there will never be another pitcher. I don't care if you're left-handed or right-handed. Obviously, all those guys left-handed, but there's never going to be another person, not even another pitcher. Forget pitcher. There will never be another person that has an 18-year career as a Dodger.
No,
never.
It's hard. It's so impossible.
In the history of the game, this is it. Clayton is the last player you will ever see retire as a Dodger that has been in the same uniform as long as he has. I mean, who's next? Austin's gone. Mm-hmm. Kenley's gone. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's going to be a long time. Will Smith, maybe in 10.
Will's, the next closest.
Will stays on past this contract. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but that's how special it is of what we have witnessed.
Yeah, and that's a very important thing, and why we're going long today, and why we're all here still talking about it. This is a special man. It's a special player. He is a special part of all of our lives, and we thank him and his family. Everybody should. For the amount that he gave to this city, and you talked about it much earlier in the show. There were those couple of off seasons where, crap, like, is this the year where he wants to go back home? And thankfully, he's talked about that more of recent vintage. That was a real possibility, but then now we get into these final couple of years, the sunset of his career. He's like, I'm happy I stayed. I didn't really realize at the time how much more important it was for me to stay here. Yeah, we mentioned it in wherever that graphic went that I had. There's one name. That's one team right there for Clayton Kershaw amongst all of those Hall of Fame left-handers. There's one name for the rest of his for his entire baseball career. There's one LAD on there, LA back in my day. But
I wish that his middle name was Lefty instead of Edward. Clayton Lefty Edward Grove Kershaw would have been cool. Yeah, but the thing is, it's like he came back, but there's still a lot to play for, right? It's not like it's not like it's Andrew McCutchen, right? Who obviously, when you think of the Pittsburgh Pirates, you think of Andrew McCutchen, who's probably going to retire soon, if not this season, if he hasn't already announced it. But it's like they have nothing to play for. You know what I mean? And Andrew's an unbelievable guy, not a Hall of Famer, but an unbelievable guy, a hell of a player, great ambassador of the game, great Pittsburgh Pirate. But Clayton still has a lot to pitch for, and this team has a lot to play for. And that's exciting, as you said, to go out on top in your way. And Clayton Kershaw, like Frank Sinatra, did it his way.
Yeah, there's still a lot of baseball yet to be played. Wild card round. Just keep advancing, boys. You got something to play for now. Win for Kershaw. Let's do some more normal show. We do have a dog to get to. Then we'll talk a little bit more Kershaw. Then we'll sign off. But let's get to Last Licks.
All right, so this is Trooper. You've seen Trooper before, but he is 8 months old and he needs an adopter. How this little pupper, who is being fostered in Aliso Viejo, has not received one application is beyond me. You guys, I understand that there's black dog syndrome. That is a real thing. A lot of dogs get overlooked that are black in shelters. It's a ridiculous thing. This dog is wonderful. He's healthy. He's happy. He's playful. He's potty trained. He's leash trained. He's great with other dogs. He's super with people. Please consider sharing Trooper. He's great. He's a great dog. He's about to be neutered in about a month and change at the cost of our foundation. And he's just a wonderful, wonderful dog. Please consider giving Trooper a chance. And also, you're going to want to be at the park this weekend because of all things Clayton Kershaw. But also, Guidry's Guardian Foundation is auctioning off 4 tickets to Sunday's game. It's 4 tickets, field level tickets, against the San Francisco Giants, who are hanging on to the postseason by a thin thread. It's 4 field level tickets right behind home plate and parking in lot I. Donated by Anita Olson, who's a big Guidry's Guardian supporter and a huge Dodger fan. So create an account at 32auctions.com/September 21st. That is the date of the game. It's a 1:10. It's a Sunday game. And you can go on there, create an account for free and bid and win those tickets. Every single cent goes to dogs in need like Trooper. So please consider helping out in that regard.
Yeah, we mentioned a charity there. If we're going to talk more Kershaw, his charity efforts. I put the ping pong picture up. Of course, that raised so much money for so many years for Kershaw's challenge. But just the sheer amount of work this is where we bring more Ellen into the picture. Sheer amount of work that man did to benefit the Los Angeles community and, of course, his home community in Dallas, but also just around the globe, what Kershaw's challenge did for people, that ping pong tournament.
The
backpacks, the shoes that I forgot what that event was called, Shoes for Kids or whatever it was. But the philanthropy of Kershaw, he didn't need to do a damn thing, but he did. And I just want to make sure people, that's another thing to appreciate Clayton for, is his work, not for him, not even just for his home community, but for LA, which has been his home for
LA,
nearly
Dallas,
2 decades.
and Uganda. I mean, Kershaw's challenge had such a massive impact in Africa, and obviously, Ellen, of course, spearheading a lot of this. Clayton's kind of busy, but Ellen, as she is too now with all the kids. But it's like they do a lot in terms of philanthropy, and they use their platform for good. They certainly don't have to do it, but they choose to do it, and it's awesome what he gives and all of the different people that have been involved in these charities. And you can see Kershaw's challenge grow over the course of the year, right? And every time he did an event in Dallas, it's like the entertainment got bigger and bigger and bigger. It's like he had Toby Keith there. I mean, if you're not into country, it's whatever, but if you are, it's a big deal. Toby Keith and Brad Paisley and all of and it's like Brett Young and all these different people, and it's just really special what he was able to do on and off the field. And he's just, he's once in a generation, and once, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful I got to cover him. I'm grateful I get to call him a colleague, a friend, and I'm proud of him. And congratulations, Kirsch. You're one of one.
The final 3 things I'll leave you guys on. Also, well, I guess another one. We just got a super chat from 80. If I'm saying that right, $10 for the King Kershaw Fund. I don't know how to get that to him, but we'll try our best. Appreciate the super chat, 80. We on my channel later tonight, I believe we'll be post gaming myself, Jeff Snyder, potentially Kevin Skinner as well. Definitely, because we're gonna have to be talking more Clayton Kershaw there. So guys, join us all Dodgers here on the YouTube if you don't mind. But there was somebody who had a really good chat. I got to find it again. But they had said he's having baby number 5. How's he going to pay the bills, Alanna?
I don't know. He's going to have to get a job someplace. I mean, he's retiring now, but that doesn't mean that he doesn't have to work, right? He's going to have to fill out some, go to the job market and see what's happening out there in the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
Maybe
you know what's funny, but it is funny though. I don't see Kershaw as like ambassador or special assistant to the assistant to the assistant. I think Kershaw goes away and he does whatever the hell he wants and he hangs out with his kids and he's not involved in like big league baseball. Like he's not going to be a coach. He's not going to be a scout. He's not going to be like hanging around like, guys that can't like JT JT will be a manager one day.
Yeah.
By the way, Justin Turner's coming on Foul Territory tomorrow. We'll talk to him about Kershaw retiring, 15 years in the show for JT. We'll talk to him about the Cubs clinching all the things. But Kershaw, I could see him riding off into the into the sunset, like Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, Robert Redford reference, and that's it.
Yeah. On the JT thing, see about getting me, or maybe yourself as well, one of those bottles that him and Courtney made. The
you
tequila.
Gotta talk to Courtney about that with the tequila for 15 years. That's sick, right?
That was really cool. I love the logo as well with the hat backwards. But the what was the other thing we were talking about? I just wanted to make sure.
Kershaw needing employment, but it's not going to be in baseball.
Oh yeah, I mean, Sandy hung around. He was with the team, in some sort of coaching capacity. Would not be shocked to see 22 show up for spring training here and there. But I agree, as good as he would be at everything, like as great as he would be as a color analyst or whatever it is, listen, that job sucks. Kudos to Nomar.
He's certainly not going to want to be in broadcasting.
Yeah, as good as he is with it, but I hope we get a little bit more Kersh in our lives before never seeing him again. But anyways, thank you, Kershaw. Guys, go see him. You get to see him pitch one final time as for the regular season this Friday. That's my thought for the road. Go see 22.
Yeah, I'm honored, Kershaw. Thank you, Clayton. Thank you for 18 amazing years. Thank you for just really caring about your product every single time you took the ball. You're, like I said, you're one of one. I appreciate it, and we appreciate you guys. Thanks for being here. Don't forget DodgersTerritoryShop.com. Check us out. Check out Clint's show, All Dodgers with Clint Pasillas, coming up. He and I are back on Monday, hopefully talking about a lot more wins and much more on where this team goes in the postseason. So we'll see you then. Go Dodgers. Congrats,
Bye.
Kirsch.